Modern life kills our vitality, not randomly but by design. Modern life is engineered to make us numb, functioning, and dead inside. And we call it normal. We call it life. Modern civilization claims to improve human life while systematically cutting us off from what makes us human. When you're doom scrolling late at night, maybe you've asked yourself, why does modern life promise freedom, individuality, self expression, progress? And yet, we've never felt more self conscious, isolated, empty, and strangely absent from our own lives. We are hyper connected, yet feel lonelier than ever. We have unprecedented access to resources, yet our souls feel like war zones. It's a contradiction that no one seems to acknowledge, but that we need to look at if we want to remain human in an increasingly inhuman world. This is not an anti-AI rant. I am not anti-technology. I don't believe in some sort of idyllic past we must return to. It's just important to me to point out a fundamental paradox of modern living. Modern civilization tells us that all the stimulation, convenience, technology, optimization, and hyperconnection are making life better. But if that were true, why do so many people today feel emotionally dead inside? Why does modern life feel strangely devoid of meaning? There's a quote by Nietzsche that I love. He says, "The desert grows. Woe to him who hides deserts within himself." It's a sentence that diagnoses the modern condition. We've become materially rich while being more and more spiritually desolate. We live in the richest civilization in human history, and yet the contrast between material abundance and spiritual desolation has never been stronger. We have endless entertainment, infinite distraction, food delivery at the click of a button. And yet, people increasingly struggle to feel joy, to find meaning, purpose, connection, or even just go through their day without dread. We're surrounded by stimulation, yet deprived of real experience, surrounded by connectivity, yet starved for intimacy, for genuine connection, surrounded by glittering spectacle, yet disconnected from truth. We've collectively forgotten how to feel alive. But despite all this, I don't think human beings are empty by nature. I think something in us still remembers what real life feels like. Despite all the desolation, something in us still resists. Because there's something modern civilization cannot eliminate, the human longing for aliveness, the longing for love, art, beauty, truth, grief, meaning, real experience. The emptiness, though, the alienation has become so normalized that most people no longer recognize it. Couples sitting together in silence, staring at different screens, people waking up exhausted because they scrolled for hours without remembering one single thing. Lives organized around hyper efficiency that lack basic vitality. Health panels optimize while the person feels dead inside. I remember when I was in Krakow in Poland and I visited the concentration camp at Auschwitz. For those who haven't been, it's a remarkable and, of course, harrowing museum designed to bring you as close as possible to the real life experience there. It's a place that demands silence, contemplation, and serious inquiry. But what I saw truly shocked me. Most of the visitors were spectacularizing the experience, taking selfies, smiling for photographs, taking family pictures under the Arbeit, macht, frei sign. Not just a few of them, most of them. It's easy to say looking at instances like this that people have lost their humanity. And this happened way before AI. It's easy to say that they're ignorant of history, unaware of consequence. And maybe, quite frankly, those things are true. But there's also more. It wasn't simply disrespect, it was the inability to encounter reality directly. Even tragedy has become content, something to document, to show to others, to perform, and to consume. Modern life keeps us at such a distance from reality that images are becoming easier to tolerate than direct experience itself. The stronger the human longing for aliveness, for direct experience, the further from it we drift because we're looking for it in all the wrong places. Modern civilization is not designed to satisfy real primal human hunger. The modern world is excellent at producing comfort, but terrible at producing meaning. Modern society overwhelms us with stimulation. It tries to tell us that stimulation is nourishment, but it isn't. Consumption does not tame our hunger, it makes us hungrier. We have more speed, more convenience, more distraction, more access, more consumption, more information. But we need meaning, beauty, intimacy, truth, depth, presence, direct contact with life. And these are precisely the things modern life pushes to the margins. We live in a civilization obsessed with efficiency, yet increasingly incapable of stillness, obsessed with optimization, yet deeply disconnected from inner richness, obsessed with productivity, yet emotionally exhausted, obsessed with visibility, yet starving for genuine recognition, genuine attunement, obsessed with connectivity, yet profoundly lonely. The modern world knows how to stimulate desire, but not how to satisfy the human soul. And because of this, people consume without ever feeling fully nourished. The German poet Rilke once wrote, "We're not allowed to linger over things." And modern civilization intensifies this condition endlessly. Everything moves faster and faster, while human beings lose the capacity for depth, attention, contemplation, and direct encounter with life. Our day to day existences are made of more and more scrolling, more shopping, more entertainment, more self improvement, more optimization, and yet inwardly we ache deeply because our deepest hunger remains unsatisfied, the hunger to feel fully present inside our own lives, to encounter reality directly, to love deeply, to create, to grieve honestly, to experience moments that feel real enough to break through the numbness. But modern civilization increasingly offers simulations of these experiences instead of the experiences themselves. And this is why so many people today feel strangely empty, despite having more than ever. We're overstimulated but undernourished, externally full, internally starving. And to be clear, I don't think people are shallow. I think many people are exhausted. I think modern life overwhelms human beings faster than we know how to metabolize. Constant stimulation can become a form of anesthesia. Distraction protects us from silence, grief, loneliness, uncertainty, confrontation with ourselves. It's easier to scroll endlessly than to encounter the emptiness underneath. It's easier to consume than to ask deeper questions about how we're living. And maybe this is why modern civilization feels so addictive, because it continuously offers relief without nourishment. It offers temporary stimulation instead of transformation, noise instead of meaning. Mercy, mercy, mercy. We can condemn society and still look with compassion at the human beings trapped within it. Because human beings were not made for this level of fragmentation, not for the endless stimulation, endless distraction, endless performance. We were not made to live this far away from ourselves. And yet, modern civilization continuously pulls us outward, away from silence, away from depth, away from contemplation, away from direct, unmediated encounter with reality. We've forgotten that life is supposed to feel real, that human beings are supposed to feel wonder, that beauty is supposed to move us, that grief is supposed to break us open. We have become a civilization terrified of stillness, terrified of emptiness, terrified of what might emerge if the noise finally stopped. So we keep consuming, we keep scrolling, we keep optimizing, we keep distracting ourselves. Not only because we're shallow, not everyone is, but because we're spiritually starved. It's truly haunting us. We have become estranged from the very conditions that make human beings feel alive. And maybe the real crisis of modern civilization is not merely political, economic, or technological. The real crisis is that we are forgetting what it means to be fully human. St. Francis talked to the birds. He encountered a dangerous wolf on his way to Gubbio and tamed him. This is not mere legend. This is a story revealing what life is supposed to feel like when it's unmediated, when human beings are no longer sealed off from reality, no longer trapped behind spectacle, distraction, performance, and endless noise. Francis moved through the world as though reality itself were alive. One of the most crucial moments in his conversion was when he stepped off his horse to kiss a leper's hand. He understood something essential, that the goal is engagement with all life, human and not human, abled and disabled, in its pure and unmediated form. There was no purity myth, no sanitized idea of perfection, no spectacle to hide behind. And maybe this is why these stories continue haunting us centuries later. That's why St. Francis is such a modern figure, because he embodies, outside of the religious framework, what we're all longing for. Something in us recognizes that this way of being is more real than the emotionally flattened existence modern civilization presents as normal. We recognize somewhere deep down that human beings were made for contact. Contact with beauty, contact with grief, with silence, with nature, with each other, with reality itself, with life itself. This is the task now. This is what the modern man must do. Not merely survive modern civilization, but to recover the parts of ourselves it taught us to abandon. Hey, thank you for watching. If what I'm sharing resonates with you, make sure you hit subscribe to be notified when new videos are released. And if you want to go deeper, I share longer reflections, frameworks, and updates in my newsletter. The link is below. This channel is a growing body of work about restoring aliveness in a world that quietly trains you to live at a distance from your own life.